Hello, I am Zac Head. I'm the Associate Pastor of Worship and Discipleship at Forest Lake United Methodist Church in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. This week I want to talk to you about our epistle reading out of the lectionary, which comes from 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 17 through 25, and I'm just going to give a quick paraphrase of what this passage says. Since we go to God who is impartial and knows what is eternal and good, God created it all, right? So God knows. That we should remember what God says is good. What God says is eternal. And we're going to focus on that eternal part here. It's not the gold and the silver. It's not the empty social systems and structures that we have received from previous generations. It's not the security that your home gives you. Those things are nice, but that's not eternal. What is eternal is Christ. Christ was there in creation. In fact, all things made through Christ, right? All things made in and through Christ. And what Christ has taught us can be summed up as love God and love others. So be purified by this love. That is what purifies us. You see, you have to remember that people are like grass, and their glory, their riches, all the stuff that they get and do, all of that is nice, but it's like the flowers that go with the grass, right? The grass withers, the flowers die and fade away. But the Lord's faithfulness, the Lord's love, that love in which all things are made and which purifies us, that is eternal. This is what Christ has taught us and what we have been taught in and through Christ. This is what leads to salvation. I needed to hear that this week because I've been feeling kind of down and out during some of this social distancing stuff, some of this season of isolation. And when I asked myself why I felt down and out, it was because I kind of felt disconnected from God as well as all of you. And I asked myself, well, what makes you feel disconnected? And it's the fact I didn't feel like my prayers were enough. I didn't feel like I was doing quiet time and meditation enough, or I wasn't doing them the right way. I don't feel like I'm doing enough during this season to help others, which, sure, I can kind of argue away all of those. I can make myself feel better about those. But I realized something about those questions. I was saying I a lot. I felt disconnected from God because I wasn't doing X, or I wasn't doing X well enough. And then I hear this text out of 1 Peter chapter 1, where we're reminded that we're all like grass, that we'll all fade away. But what is eternal is the love that connects us. This is good news, folks. Because guess what? Love does not have to have a physical connection to be real, right? We don't have to be physically together in the sanctuary to express the love of God. We don't have to be physically together anywhere to express the love of God. We just happen to like doing that. And so, here is the good news. God has done the heavy lifting by giving us love and continuing to love us. And so now we get to experience that love. We get to be made pure by that love. All of the other stuff around us will fade away, but the love will be eternal. And so this week, when you're feeling isolated or down, think about the expressions of love around you and how God is still present, even though it may not feel like it as much. If you're struggling to find expressions of love to think about and to participate in, you can leave a comment here. You can send us an email or a direct message at the church. We would love to get you set up with a Sunday school class that meets over video conferencing. That's been a big source of expressions of love for me. Or get you set up with a list of addresses of folks who are kind of in that most vulnerable group who are kind of shut in very much during this time, that you could send letters to or cards to. Also, we could add you to one of those lists to just be loved on, because we believe that we as the church are the body of Christ and that we should love one another and give each other that love. And so this week, when you start thinking maybe your prayers aren't good enough or your service isn't enough, remember, it's not what we do that is eternal. It's what God is doing through the love in the midst of what we're experiencing that is eternal. I hope that this will be something that will help you through this week, that will help you through the rest of this time of social distancing and this kind of weird season that we're in as people. And I hope that it'll serve as kind of a gentle nudge to remind you that Forest Lake is here, and we would love to be a part of your life, even during this weird time of isolation. We love you, and we hope that you will continue to reach out to us as we continue to reach out to you during this time.